Hi, my name's Tim and I'm from Shen Health. Today I'm going to introduce you to the many wonderful, fantastic things about Chinese medicine has to offer. Chinese medical massage usually requires at least 3 years education to work with a system of diagnosis, and in this particular case, Chinese medicine theory. It's very important to have a diagnosis so that you can apply particular techniques to work with each individual problem and illness. When you have that, you're able to treat very effectively all conditions that come to you. So today's guide, we're going to look at particular techniques that you can apply when working with Chinese medical massage. In Chinese medical massage, we don't work directly on the skin unless we're applying liniments or working with ancillary therapies such as cupping or guasa. So we usually work straight through a sheet and through clothes, so it's very user-friendly. So in this case, we're going to be working through the sheet, and I'm just going to demonstrate some basic techniques for Chinese medical massage. The first technique we're going to show is Mo-Fa. Mo-Fa is a circling technique. We work on the surface of the skin without really moving the surface of the skin very much. So it feels just like a very light rubbing technique. And we can work with the palm of the hand, 2 palms to be more vigorous. We can work with just a few fingers if we're working on light areas, or just even 1 finger if we're stimulating a particular point in acupressure. The next technique we can do is Ro-Fa. Ro-Fa is we work with circular techniques, but we're working more with the surface of the skin, so it's more penetrating and more vigorous, and there's a little weight behind the body. And again, we can use 2 hands. We can use the palm of the hand, we can use a few fingers, and we can use 1 finger to stimulate a particular point. Next technique I'll show you is Tui-Fa. Tui-Fa, we work with strokes across the surface of the body, so we can work down the whole length of the body. And it's very good for dredging and opening large areas of the body. And it's a very good introduction technique. So the main emphasis is on the push. So we push, and then we come lightly back. We push, we come lightly back. And we can do this in areas over the ribs, which does feel extremely good for people who are tense and stressed. So we come over the surface of the ribs. And then we have Na-Fa, where it's a pinching and releasing technique. So here we're using a thumb and index finger to pinch the skin or the paraspinal muscles and release. This is good for dispersing, drawing up stagnation that's deep in the body and pulling it up to the surface to disperse it. And another technique that's very good for dispersing is Piafar. So we're going to use a hollow hand. And you should get almost like a hollow sound, and it's a very light dispersing technique. And it's combined with other percussive techniques such as Jidianfa, where we can use 5 fingers and disperse particular points. So we can use it for point stimulation, or we can use it to disperse tight muscles. And you can also use it on the side of the hand, 2 hands together. You can have open fist. And again, no pressure, very light, relaxed technique. We also have techniques such as Gunfa, which are a little more complicated, which is called rolling technique. And it's a very nice technique to warm, to nourish, and to move. We have Zhenfa, which is a vibrating technique. So if we want to work very deeply, particularly where there's adhesions in the body, we'll find a spot and you're just penetrating that area and vibrating. Which is very similar to a technique called Yijichan Tui-Fa, where, again, another very good point stimulation technique. And the movement is moving backwards and forwards with the thumb. And you want to keep the index finger behind the thumb so that you don't sprain it very easily. Other techniques we have are plucking techniques, where we pluck in and across deeply into the muscles. This is called tambofa. We also have warming techniques such as safa, or working with friction. And you can do with the flat of the hand. And that gives you a guide to most of the techniques that you'd see in a Chinese massage therapy technique setting.